Hey guys, this is Tiffany from growingdawn.com. Today I thought that I would introduce you to our backyard chickens. Well, I guess technically they're my mom's backyard chickens because this is where they live. Some of you may not even know that we have chickens, unless you follow me on Instagram, where I kind of show them a little bit more, talk about their eggs and stuff like that. But we do have a small flock of 10 egg layers here in my mom's side yard. And right now I am sitting in front of their coop, just hanging out. They are very valuable to us because they are pretty much our sole egg source for our family. I know that some of you may be curious about how to start a backyard flock of your own, so I thought I would touch on that today as well. I know that I can't be the only one that used to dream of going outside in the morning and gathering up my own farm fresh eggs. Cheap eggs from the grocery store are much lower in nutrition and quality and taste, so there's nothing that beats going outside on your own property, gathering your own eggs from your own pasture-raised chickens. Now, I say pasture-raised, and honestly, these are pasture-raised. They are in the coop right now, but most days we let them out to roam the property during the day, and then we put them back in at night. The reason that they are in right now is because I came over here to film this video and my mom wasn't home, and so she tries to keep them in when she's not home because she's not able to keep an eye on them. We do have some hawks and predators like that around. We would rather only let them out whenever someone is keeping an eye on them. So chickens are one of those things that even if you aren't yet on your dream homestead, or you've never raised animals or any kind of livestock before, there's really no better time to start raising backyard chickens than right now. Even if you live in the city, obviously check me on this because laws are different everywhere, but I know that in the city that we used to live in, it was perfectly legal to keep a few hens in a chicken tractor or a small coop in the backyard, which we did do that for a little while. So if you're just looking to get your feet wet in homesteading, in raising your own food, getting your own eggs, go ahead and look into getting backyard chickens, even if you're still living in the city. Now, like I said, be sure to check your local ordinances before just running out and buying hens and building a chicken tractor and all of that. But also, don't let where you are at stop you from starting the process. Let me show you guys our birds and their breeds and some characteristics about them. Maybe it'll help you in your own journey of starting your own flock. We have 4 different breeds in our flock. We have the Cinnamon Queen breed, the Americana breed, the Buff Orpington breed, and the Winedot breed. I am sorry guys if I really hope that you all can hear me because this is kind of a loud spot. Do you mind? Okay, so just know that I am not a chicken expert by any means. We've only had a few different breeds, but I will say that I am really happy with these breeds that we chose. We bought all of these chickens as babies last October, so we've had them for basically exactly a year now. We got them at our local farm supply store and they have done great. We started out buying 12 and 2 of them died basically right away, like they were still babies. I think they just, I don't know, you know how it is. Sometimes chicks, they catch something, or they have something and you don't realize it, or something happens in transport. So anyways, now we have 10. I wanted to add more this past year, but we just didn't really get around to it. And these have been doing just fine. They basically lay enough eggs for our family of 6, as well as my mom. So we get, I think, we typically are getting about, well, now they're laying less, now that it's starting to transition into fall and there's less light. They're only laying about 5 eggs a day. But during the peak time of summer, they were laying around 9 eggs a day. So yeah. Now the Americana breed is actually, what's the word? It's a very hybridized breed. They tend to lay blue or green eggs. From what I understand, they're kind of similar to the Easter egger variety, but they are very friendly. And honestly, I think that they are my favorite because they all look kind of unique. Like this one that we have has like a really funny gray beard. They have a really cool mix of gray and brown plumage. So yeah, you never know exactly what you are going to get with that breed, with the Americana or the Easter egger breed. You never really know like what color they're going to be or what color eggs they lay. They're great for giving you that colorful egg basket that you may be seeking after. The next breed that we have is the Cinnamon Queen. And the Cinnamon Queen breed is actually a fairly new breed. It was specifically bred to lay a lot of eggs, to grow quickly, to lay eggs at a younger age. I think the Cinnamon Queen were the first ones that started laying for us. The Cinnamon Queen is also considered to be a dual purpose breed, which means it can be raised both for eggs or for meat. So the third breed that we have is the Buff Orpington, which is also a dual purpose breed. They are great egg layers, but they also make good meat birds. And they also do well in pretty much any climate, including very cold weather. Now, we are in the South. Right now, it's mid-October and it's still almost 80 degrees outside. But Buff Orpington does great here as well. So they are basically good to raise in any climate. One thing to know about the Buff Orpington breed is they do have a tendency to go broody, which means that after a certain point, they will want to sit on their eggs to encourage them to hatch. Now, obviously, unless you have a rooster, nothing is going to happen with those eggs. But if you are wanting a chicken that goes broody, then the Buff Orpington is a great choice. They are those chickens that have that signature fluffy look. The last breed that we have here on our homestead is the Winedot breed. There are different colors of Winedot. I believe the one that we have is the black laced Winedot. They have like, well, that's literally what it looks like. They have like the black lacy feathers. Wyandots are actually a great choice for backyard chickens if you have a small space and you are not able to just let them free range all the time. They handle confinement very well. So that may be an option that you want to look into if you're in the city and you know that your chickens are going to be in a small space most of the time. Of course, they are excellent egg layers. They are also hardy and friendly. They have a good temperament. Anyways, Wyandots are typically friendly and calm, although they do have a tendency to get aggressive. May not be the absolute best choice that you can make in terms of a family chicken, but it's still not a bad choice. Obviously, we have them and we love them. Okay, so I just looked it up and apparently black laced Wyandot's not really a thing, but silver laced is. So that is what we have. We have the silver laced Wyandotte. That's the one with the white feathers and the black edges around each feather. Okay, so those are the breeds that we have in our flock. We started out with 3 of each. Now we have, I'm gonna have to check and see. We have 3 buffs, 3 Americanas, 2 cinnamon queens, and 2 Wyandottes in our flock. So some other breeds that you may want to look into as you are looking at starting your own flock are Rhode Island Red, Barred Plymouth Rock, again, like I said before, Easter Egger, any variety of the Easter Egger, the Australorp. These are all really good starter breeds. If you have never raised chickens before, they are typically cold hardy, they are friendly, they are good egg layers. And of course, there are lots of other breeds that you could choose from, but hopefully this gives you a starting point. Now, most of us are really familiar with the term free range chickens. Here is my take on free range and what I have noticed from chickens that we have free ranged and our friends have free ranged. The problem with totally free range chickens that aren't locked in a coop, at least at night, is they tend to lay eggs all over the place. They tend to wander off a little bit further than they should. So you can still free range your chickens and keep them in a coop at night. That is my preferred way of raising chickens, because you always know where your eggs are going to be. You always know that they're safe, they're protected from predators at night, and you don't have to worry about them wandering off, even pooping on your porch or getting into your garden or whatever. You're able to keep an eye on them during the day if you do let them out to pasture. Now, obviously, free ranging is great. Them having to forage all the time means that it saves you money on feed. It's actually healthier for the chicken. It gives you the added benefit of bug control. Because they are very good at self-regulating the volume that they eat, there's really no reason to worry about what they're eating, or if they're not getting enough, or if they're getting too much if you have free range chickens. But like I said, the downside to totally free range is they may wander off and they may lay eggs in random places. Birds of a feather flock together, right? So if you are just starting on your chicken journey, I would suggest getting at least 3 to start. So make sure that you are building or buying a coop that will at least harbor 3 hens. Let's talk housing. If you are a beginner and you have no idea where to start with housing your chickens, the easiest option is buying a prefabricated coop. And you can do a quick Google search online and find all kinds of these. I think you can even get them on Amazon. I will try to link a few below that I like. You can also find them at some local farm supply stores. There are also some really detailed DIY plans out there on Pinterest and on Google. Search for that, and that option would save you quite a bit of money. But obviously you need to have some building skills. It's also nice if you are wanting something more custom, or if you want a specific feature based on the size and type of your flock. My personal favorite option for smaller spaces, if you literally just have like a small backyard and you're not sure what to do as far as housing your chickens, I would go with the chicken tractor option, which means it is a movable chicken coop. And the benefit to this is you can move them to a fresh spot of grass. It's kind of like rotational grazing for cows. Of course, I relate everything to cows now, but it gives you the opportunity to move the chickens around from spot to spot so they're getting fresh food. I know that another option would be a fence, but unless you are planning on clipping the wings of your chickens, I wouldn't even bother with a fence of any kind. And even still, I know that there are a lot of chickens that even after clipping their wings, they're just able to jump right over. So I personally wouldn't recommend a fence, although it has been a viable option for some. Now, you could do a fence covered with a layer of netting or something like that. So that's an option. If you'd rather do that, go for it. So we've already talked a little bit about feeding, what chickens like to eat. Obviously, they really enjoy foraging. It's very healthy for them to forage. And at the same time, if you are raising egg layers, you want to make sure that they are getting a strong source of nutrition so that they are giving you maximum production. There's so much that we could get into in talking about high quality chicken feed, but just know that they can basically eat anything that is whole grain, low salt, and low added sugar. Non-GMO is obviously preferable. You can also feed them kitchen scraps, specifically fruit and vegetable scraps. They also love weeds. The only thing that you will want to avoid is citrus. So there you have it. That is a basic rundown of how to get started with your own backyard chicken flock. And don't blame me if you get addicted. All right, let's meet the chickens. These guys are being stubborn. Okay, so I'm sorry, I told you wrong. We have 3 Americanas and 3 Cinnamon Queen, and 2 Buff Orpington and 2 Winedot. That is our flock.